If you are at all interested in decentralized science, there is one question that should be at the forefront of your mind. That is, what academic research is actually being funded by all of these DeSci projects? We hear a lot of people talking about what could happen from the funding of these DeSci treasuries, and we're seeing a lot of tokens and projects and DAOs start to spin up governance tokens to fund some of their treasury. But what is actually being done? And I figured there is no better place to look than right here at Vita DAO, because Vita DAO is the leading decentralized autonomous organization in decentralized science. They were the first, and they have backings from giant corporations such as Pfizer. Does that ring a bell for you guys? So in today's video, we're going to go through what's in Vita DAOs Treasury, what have they successfully funded, and where some of those projects currently sit on the timelines. And then, if you guys can actually make it towards the end of this video, we are going to do some dubious price speculation and price analysis, which I guarantee you have never seen done before. So let's get right into it. Vita DAO is focused on longevity research. So everything that they are funding is in an effort to allow for humans to live longer and healthier lives. So far, they have funded $4 million worth of scientific research. 20 projects have been funded and 200 plus projects have been evaluated. That's actually crazy. They have 6 million in liquid funds, which means they can actually continue to fund science as more and more projects come and proposals are made to their DAO. And then everyone who has tokens gets to contribute to see if we should fund this research or not. They do it through quadratic funding, but that is a video dedicated in and of itself. Quadratic funding is really, really fascinating, and it allows for the masses with maybe less money than the Pfizers to actually have a stronger vote. So if 1,000 people contribute $1,000 each versus, what would that be, $1 million contributed by Pfizer, Pfizer's $1 million will have less of an impact than the 1,000 people who contribute $1,000 each. Make sense? Cool. So the featured projects here, they list all of them out, and you can see that something like Matrix Bio, which is the first ever biotech company to actually be spun up from one of these DAOs, Matrix Bio. We have an entire video dedicated to this. They're using naked mole rats and an acid that they produce to see the impact on humans. They have received $300,000 allocated. You come over here and discovering novel autophagy activators. That has $285,000 funded. So those are two of the prominent ones. You can see this entire list. A lot of projects receiving about $250,000 each. I'm not going to go through all of the science for each of these. I just want to showcase them to you and go over where they're at in their process. How close are they to actually becoming something in the real world, right? Matrix Bio already exists. So if we come down to the bottom line here, on March 31st, 2023, the project was initiated, and then on October 10th, 2023, the Vita DAO launches its first biotech company. So it actually has taken the funding from an IP NFT and created a biotech company from it. So this is like real world application already going down. Whether or not this company is successful is something that we have to watch and keep a close eye on for. So you can see their timeline. Matrix Bio has a phased approach to drug development. The first phase involves identifying and optimizing new drug candidates using HTS and MedChem. The second phase focuses on validating the efficiency of an existing in vivo active inhibitor in a mouse model of cancer. So in vivo means it's living tissue in the organism. In vitro means it's in a petri dish. And as you can see right here, the status is still ongoing for all of this, and it will likely remain ongoing for a very long time. Like I said right here, naked mole rats are long-lived rodents with a lifespan of up to 40 years compared to normal rats, which live about 3 years. So they're looking at different compounds such as hyaluronic acid and trying to see like, why the hell are these things living so long, right? The next one up on this list is the autophagy activators. So again, we're going to come down and see that they required $85,000 in funding for 12 months in the preclinical studies. And then we had preclinical studies 2, where they needed 20 grand for 2 months. And you can see that the project initiated in December of 2021. So the status is still ongoing and the patent has not yet been filed, which means they are still studying. They're still trying to get things going. You can dig a little bit deeper if you want to see into where they're at in the process here, but it looks like they're going over some of the durations estimated here with this study. They're still progressing forwards. Vita DAO, in my opinion, is going to be something that we need to pay attention to for years to come, because they're helping with the longevity thesis, which literally, where does all of the money reside in this world? It resides in the hands of old people. Are old people afraid of death, or do they enjoy death? Well, some of them probably enjoy death, but most of them are afraid of death. They're going to funnel a lot of money into longevity research, and Vita DAO is positioned quite nicely for this. Oh, I wanted to go over the approval for each one. So it initiated in March of 2023 with a 99.99% voted yes. That's interesting to me. It's very, very high percent voting yes. This one is even more interesting to me. 100% of people voted yes. That raises an internal red flag in my head, because it's like, when does 100% of anyone ever agree on stuff exactly? And that happens so early days that I guarantee just nobody was paying attention to it. I'd be interested, not to say that they, like, I know it sounds like I'm insinuating that they just took the money and ran. I'm not at all. It's just weird to me. It's just weird to me. Going on to the next one, we got 88% voted yes. This is more in line with what my expectations would be. This one started in 2021 from this guy here, Morton. And you can actually see that they've been making a lot of progress. They've been doing a lot. So project initiated, and then you can actually go keep up with the project with all of these YouTube videos over on Vita DAO's YouTube page. So shout out them for putting that together for us so we can actually keep track of it nice and easily. And then currently speaking, the last update we had was September of 2023, where they validated the lead drug series with independent studies, which is a huge positive sign. The status is still ongoing. All of this stuff is still ongoing. Next one up, we have Aptosens. 100% voted yes in April of 2022. And again, they have one update video on it. The project has been initiated. They received $253,000. Then we have novel mitophagy activators for Alzheimer's disease in a FANG lab. That is a complicated sounding title. 99.9% voted yes. Really cool. So you guys see it. You guys can see all of these timelines for all of these research fundings that they have actually successfully done. And you can see that they're progressing forward. So a lot of these things started in 2021 or 2022 when the project initiated, and they are continuing to check off milestones, but you'll notice that research takes years. Some of these projects have timelines that are up to 4 or 5 years, because you need to actually see the impact of a drug or a therapy on the body. Some of these are not even done with bodies. Some of these are still in very early stage research. But the idea with all of these decentralized autonomous organizations, all these DAOs, is that you have a compound or you have something to research which has already been proven to be semi-effective. You're just trying to figure out all the specifics that are required to get an FDA approval and to get it to that next stage, which sometimes can be wasted research because you don't know exactly what it's going to be like. But when you do find those drugs that you can take onto the open market, you end up with stuff like Matrix Bio, where they actually have a bio company put together. And I would keep an eye on them, because if anyone's going to get one of these fully completed cycles in a DAO where they take it, they research, they bring it to the FDA, it gets approved, they patent it, they license it out, it's going to be Vita DAO. They already have IP NFTs in their treasury, which we'll go over in just a couple minutes, but I want to finish out and then look at some of the equity deals that they've done with other companies, in fact. So required funding, $330,000. You can see they started in April of 2022, and they have one update with the transfer ceremony for the IP NFT. So they're making movement. They're making good progress. This historic moment needs to be celebrated properly. Don't tell me I'm about to go pop a bottle of champagne off that. Are you joking? Let's go. Probing DNA quadruplexes in age-related proteostasis. Let's go. Let's go proteostasis. 99.48% voted yes, and that was back in June of 2022. I actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, I might have these reversed. This might be a foreign type thing where it's March 5th, Is June even number 5? January, February, March, April, May. No, May, not June, May. That's embarrassing. Bro, get your months together. The duration of this is 48 months. So 48 months. This is going to take 4 years before they actually come to any conclusions that could possibly be worth paying attention to. So expand your horizons, expand your time horizons, and understand that crypto moves in 4-year cycles. So we're likely to go through a bubble and then pop the bubble and then find a new low again, build out that lows in all of crypto and start progressing upwards again. This one stood out to me because it was the only one with 60% voting yes. The rest of them had very high approval odds. The rest of these had in the 90s for approvals, right? And then this one, which received $91,300 just earlier last year, only had a 60% approval. So that is interesting. Art and Bio, mutation-specific codon suppression for aging and longevity. Again, you guys can take the time to look into these, but it also stood out for me because it was the only one in which it said company formed on August 14th of 2023. The rest of them have project initiated and then they have milestones. This one says company formed. So that is unique to me. That's very new. Their drug development, the status is ongoing with no patent status filed yet. So I would pay attention to a lot of this stuff. Pay attention here, all right? It's weird that this is the only one that had a company formed and only had success rate of 60% voting. Now, let's go ahead and come back to the entire list, because now that we've gone over some of the IP NFT research projects that have been funded, it's important that we look at some equity deals, right? Because they're not just funding research, they're also doing some VC investing, which is quite unique. Humanity Proprietary Aging Score app, that sounds pretty interesting to me. I'm going to open this one up and we'll look at it really quickly just to get an understanding of what it kind of looks like, but understand that they've done a lot of equity deals. Look at that. $350,000 allocated towards this equity deal for Rubedo.life. That's unique. So Humanity Proprietary Aging Score app. This happened back last year in 2023. It had a 61% approval and funded $50,000. So the duration is ongoing. They were doing a $1 million raise. Humanity was doing a $1 million raise, and they had raised $950,000, and Vita DAO closed it out for an additional $50,000. So they get equity into the project initiated. It's interesting. And where you can go to keep up with all of this is their treasury. So dao.vitadao.com/#/treasury. I'll put the link in the bio. The treasury right now has $23.2 million in it. $1,500 of USDC. They have some Ethereum. They have some Vita DAO tokens. And they have some liquid staked Ether, right? So they have 200 staked Ethereum, which is a lot of Ethereum. And they have 346 Ethereum just in general. So their treasury is stacked. Then they have even more funds. They have $250,000 in fiat reserves just to get ready to deploy at a moment's notice. And then tokenized IP totaling $11.7 million. That's very interesting to take a look through all these if you want to and just kind of check everything out. They have a lot of projects that they've invested into, which is a good sign because most of these are not going to be super fruitful. We've just got to be completely transparent with it. Or at the very least, most of these are going to take years and years and years for anything to come from it. So you, as far as a VC approach to investing, you take your $23 million and you deploy $100,000 into as many projects as possible, hoping that you catch a couple unicorns and the treasury pool, the entire equity pool in the treasury goes up aggressively. Now, for that dubious price speculation and a price analysis that I talked about, we have Vita DAO here chilling at an $85 million market cap, $85.4 million market cap with 25 million coins in circulation and a max supply of 64 million coins according to CoinGecko. Now, what I want to kind of address and look at for a second and kind of propose this idea for valuing some of these coins, because I need mathematical equations for it to make sense in my head. I need to be able to know when something's overvalued or undervalued. And looking at Vita DAO as a benchmark, what I'm going to do here is take the market cap of 85.4 million, all right? Let's see the calculator pull up here. 85.4 million, and I'm going to divide this by the total amount in the treasury. Now this is a little bit dubious here because the treasury does have Vita tokens involved in it, right? There is some Vita tokens here. So as the price of Vita DAO itself goes up and down, that's going to be impacting this equation. So it's a little bit flawed, and I would love for feedback from people. Give me some ways that you guys analyze for valuing different DAOs and stuff like that. But if we take the 85.4 million, if we're willing to be a little bit risque with this and divide it out by the 23.245 million, you'll get that right now the token is trading 3.7 times more valuable than the amount of money in the treasury, right? So it's kind of trading at a premium to the treasury. This governance token does not give you access to the treasury. What it does, though, is allow you to govern where that treasury is deployed, right? You get to vote with your tokens, vote with your money. And so it's just an interesting way to look at it. You look at and compare treasuries together to see, like, maybe there's a commonality between Vita DAO, Hair DAO, Genomes DAO, Valley DAO, all these different DAOs, Athena DAO, right? Do out this math, see what the treasuries look like, and see what the token is trading at a premium to, and kind of compare which one looks overvalued compared to the others. There's a lot more that's going to go into a valuation formula, but I just wanted to propose that to you guys a little bit. Maybe you find one that's trading at a 1-to-1 ratio, and it's like, is this just super undervalued, right? Should they be trading at a premium? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it, and we're just going to have to kind of create all this as we continue going. Your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was worth investing into. I appreciate you guys watching it, and I will see you in the next video.